If you're trying to start a business and you're on that journey from zero to your first $100,000 a year, I'm going to show you the exact process, mindset, identity, purpose, and vision to step into making that first $100,000 a year as an entrepreneur. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. In this episode here, in this video here, what we're going to be diving into is the very first income level, or what I call levels, growth levels, in my Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. It's the very first one from zero to $100,000 a year. Now, this one here is hard, right? Sometimes getting from zero to your first 100,000 is harder than going from 3 million to 10 million. But if you're getting started, I'm going to walk you through the key things that I wish that I knew when I got my first businesses started, 15 years ago, that would have helped me accelerate through it quicker. And also, one of the key things that we're going to be breaking down in these levels, in these growth levels, is I'm going to be pulling up on my iPad here. I'll probably flash it on the screen, my full Entrepreneur Freedom Formula level scale that goes from 0 to 100,000, 100,000 to 300,000, 3 to a million to 3, 3 to 10, 10 to 30 and above. I'm going to be showing you, comparing with my Entrepreneur Freedom Formula model, what you need to do at each growth level. Every single time you go around that Entrepreneur Freedom Formula, it's about a 3-year journey. Every single time you go around, about a 3-year journey, you then need to refresh that vision. You need to refresh that strategy. You need to, update your business model. You need to buy back your time and energy in the right spot. And then you need to upgrade that identity. Okay. You just go around it every 3 years or so. Okay. So in this one here, you're just starting out, which is crazy, crazy cool. I'm crazy excited for you. And the first thing you're going to need to think about is number one, it is going to be hard. Okay. So it's not a fact of whether it's going to be hard. It's not a fact of will you hit challenges. You're probably in a spot right now where you might be second guessing yourself, right? You might be second guessing, should I have started this company? You started this side hustle and you're trying to make it work. You might be second guessing the business model. You're trying a bunch of things right now. Maybe you're trying this and you're trying that. You're trying real estate investing. You're trying drop shipping and trying that and you're trying that. You're just kind of taking the shotgun approach and you're scattering it out there. Okay. Whatever it is, you're probably feeling some pain. All right. And every single one of these revenue levels, I'm going to be addressing the pain line that you're feeling, what you need to do to get over that pain line to get to the next revenue level. Okay. The identity that you need to adopt to conquer that revenue level, the 0 to 100,000 in this case, or what I call the dreamer. Okay. We need to talk about the purpose. What purpose is it healthy to have? Like, focus on this purpose. And I'm going to give you some cues in case you're kind of stuck on the purpose side right now. We're going to talk about vision, strategy, marketing, how to add leverage, energy, process, and then what to delegate at this level. Okay, every single one of these levels. So let's zero in on the 0 to $100,000 level. That's level 1 in my Entrepreneur Freedom Formula growth levels framework. And right here, I'm going to talk about team first, okay? The team is probably just you right now, right? To get to your first $100,000, it's probably you and maybe a virtual assistant of some sort, or maybe a part-time executive assistant, maybe, right? But what I would really encourage every single person to have at the 0 to 100,000 is some sort of mentor. That's like, as I look back at my own journey and where I took too long to have a breakthrough, is usually because I tried to go it alone, okay? And so in that first 100,000, if you don't have a mentor, even if the mentor is a YouTube channel, right? Even if the mentor is a YouTube channel or a podcast or something, lock into a mentor. I'm not saying it has to be somebody that you meet with personally. That's amazing if you can find that person. But in my early days, I remember as I was trying to crack that first $100,000 on my journey to running 8-figure businesses today, well into the tens of millions. When I look at that journey, early on, it was all podcasts, courses, things like that. This would have been 2008. I went to my very first ever event of any kind. Okay, it was crazy, crazy cool. 2008, I was just starting to learn online marketing, and I'd already bought my first rental properties in 2004. So I'd owned a property since I was 21 at that time, and started that journey in real estate. But I didn't really have a mentor per se, and so I went to this event in Orlando, Florida, the first time that I'd ever traveled alone. And I hopped in an airplane to go to this 6 or 7 day event. And the way that I got there was I started following some online marketers that were doing some really interesting things that I kind of liked the way that they were doing things. They were interesting to me. I could relate to them. I was learning a lot from them. I kind of liked their vibe. And so I was learning from them, whether it was from free courses they had or a couple cheap paid courses like $50 or $100 at a time. I was diving into forums for free and just digging in there and seeing and learning from people. Okay, I just kind of grabbed information and mentors from all over. And I would get as much free information as I could. Now, free information does take us so far, especially today with YouTube. You get better free information today on YouTube than people were charging for a decade ago. So there's such a blessing to be starting a company in this day and age. But the challenge today is trying to sift through all of the clutter out there. It's trying to sift through all the options of like, who the heck do you follow, right? And so I fly to this event. I didn't pay for it. I actually won a ticket to the event by writing a submission for why I feel I should get a free ticket to the event. And I got an email back. It actually landed in spam. And I don't even remember why I looked in my spam that day, but something was calling me to go look in my spam. And I opened it up, and it was this email saying, congratulations, you won the free ticket. And this was a $7,000 free ticket, a free ticket to go to this event called New Beginnings from a guy named Rich Schefren back in the day. And it was guys like Frank Kern and Gary Vaynerchuk. It was Gary Vaynerchuk's first ever paid speaking gig back before when he was still the wine guy. Had a chance to meet Gary for the first time. Jay Abraham, one of the godfathers of direct response marketing, spent 2 days with him and just 20 other people. And by being around those people, I started to go, okay, there's a few people that I want to have be a mentor of mine. Those people are kind of what set the stage to help me get past that first $100,000 mark. Okay. The pain line at $0 to $100,000 is all mindset at that point. It's all mindset. It's not resources. It's not, do I have enough money? Because you can make a business work with no money. It's mindset. So if you're coming on this show right here, whether you're listening to it on the podcast or you're watching it on YouTube, and you're going, Trevor, dude, like I couldn't make this work because you have to have money to make money, or I grew up in a poor household, or whatever it is, guys. The thing that I had to adopt back in the day in that $0 to $100,000 mindset, or that $0 to $100,000 mark, was I remember sitting there in Portland, Oregon, in this apartment. The first year in business, I went in $16,000 in credit card debt. I had to actually pay my taxes on my credit card that year, which I do not recommend. Okay, that was my first year. I went in $16,000 of credit card debt. I made gross revenue, not net, gross revenue that year, 18 grand. Okay, $18,000 is all that I made that year. That was my first year out of college. I'm going in debt. I'm trying these things. They're not working. And when I fell back, when we hit these pain lines, we try to do one of three things. Is we're going to settle. Go, man, maybe my job is okay. I'm just going to go back and keep my job. Okay, we sabotage. Dude, all these things, there's these excuses. There's these reasons why I can't do something. I'm going to get busy with trying 14 things instead of focusing on one. When things get hard, we sabotage. Or when we grow the business and get bigger, we're tempted to sell. Okay, so in that first $0 to $100,000, depending on where your mindset is, you might be naturally settling with your job and say, well, maybe I'm not an entrepreneur. What I want to challenge you with is this, is think about the challenges you're having right now. Think about your situation. Okay, maybe it's where you grew up. Maybe it's the situation you're in right now. Maybe you're broke. Maybe you're living in your parents' basement. And maybe you're in worse than broke, $100,000 in credit card debt. Okay, maybe you weren't blessed with something someone else was blessed with, and you think, man, if I had that, this would be easier. Maybe you have no connections. Maybe you're new to town. Make up any excuse that you want. I made up all of them. Okay, but then you have to ask yourself, has anyone ever in my situation ever accomplished what I'm wanting to accomplish in a similar situation as me? Has anyone ever in a similar situation as me accomplish what I'm setting out to accomplish? If the answer is yes to that, which I guarantee you it's likely yes, then it's all a mindset issue. It has nothing to do with resources, has nothing to do with your past, has nothing to do with that. Now, if you're sitting there going, well, what I'm trying to do is physically fly with my arms, and no one has ever flown through the sky with their arms before, then yeah, there's a reason that there's probably a limiting belief there. No one's ever done that. So it's going to take some massive effort to try to figure out how to do that. Not saying it's not possible, just saying it's going to be extremely hard. Okay. But if anyone has ever done what you're about to do, flip houses, buy rental property, start a software company, be successful, and they've been in a similar situation, it's a mindset issue, not a can I do it issue. Okay, so mindset's the pain line. And we need to flip our risk profile in this section here. Okay, how do we get over the pain line? You flip your risk profile. What does that mean? Back in 2008 or so, when I was going through that challenge, that first year in business, that first year of business was 2007 actually, when I was going through that period of all these limiting beliefs and going in credit card debt, what I asked myself when I was getting ready to make the decision of giving up and going back and getting a job at Nike or something, or pressing through, is I read the 4-Hour Work Week. I think it was that year, probably around there. It might have been a couple years after. And I remember someone telling me, or me reading it from the 4-Hour Work Week, it's like, you need to first of all write down the worst case scenario. And usually the worst case scenario isn't that bad. So I wrote down the worst case scenario. Let's say worst case scenario, if I go take these chances and really step into this and try to make this business work, great. Worst case scenario is it doesn't work. I rack up some more credit card debt. I get evicted from my apartment, which is going to take a couple months, maybe even longer than that in order to happen. Then I move in with my parents. Now, you have to realize this. I'm just fresh out of college, around a year out of college. It wouldn't have been that big of a leap to move back in with my parents, except for the fact that I just got married. Because that would have been a little bit of a wrinkle. Would it have hurt? Yeah, it would have hurt the ego. But I would have had a house to go back to at least, right? For a period of time to get my feet back. So I thought, okay, well, that's not that bad. I'm already not making any money. I'm already living in not that great of an apartment. So worst case scenario, I go back and live with my parents or a friend or family member for a little bit of time. Okay. So then what I started to learn though is I said, well, let me look at the worst case scenario if I don't take this risk. What's the worst case or more likely scenario if I don't take this risk? And I say, okay, well, what happens if I don't truly take that leap of faith and make this work and work it until it works and just put down and persevere? What's going to happen is I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to settle for what I don't want. I'm going to go work this job for probably many, many years. I'm going to be on this treadmill of jobs for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Then someday I'll retire. And I'll be able to, quote unquote, have the freedom to retire when I'm 60, 50, 60, or 70. And that scared the crap out of me because I knew a lot of people that were friends or family members who were living that life. And they did not look like they were living the full life that they wanted to live. And I'd had that conversation with many of them. And so I said, I'm going to flip my risk profile. It's actually more risky and more scary for me to not take this leap because I'm 100% guaranteed to live this life over here if I step back and settle. I'm 100% guaranteed to live this life over here. Is it a bad life? No. Is it the life I wanted? It wasn't the life I wanted. Okay. But if I take the leap of faith and step into this challenge and really learn and get around the right people and just keep pressing until it works, if I take this leap of faith, the likely scenario is I'll find a way to make it work because other people like me have made it work in the past too, right? The likely scenario is I will make it work. And so 100% guaranteed scenario, if I don't take the leap of faith, is I will live a life that I will be regretting and questioning forever. The potential scenario is I fail and move back in with my parents. The likely scenario, if I take that leap, is I'm going to make it work if I don't quit. So flip that risk profile, guys. What's 100% guaranteed to happen if you don't step in and take this leap of faith and dream and find that mentor, find the people who are similar to you and who have done it with you. Okay, that's the pain line. That's the identity part. You are a dreamer. Step into the dreamer. You need to have a dream. You need to have that clear dream that pulls you forward. Most people don't make the $100,000 because their dream isn't big enough. Right? Their dream isn't big enough. I want to challenge you. Make your dream big. Make your dream exciting. Make it so exciting that you like choke up when you read that vision of your life story in the future. Okay, the other things in this level are purpose. Your purpose at this stage is probably really just to replace your W-2 income or to avoid getting a job, right? That's your purpose. Oftentimes, it's not this big grand purpose. It's not this go save the world purpose or put a shoe on every child. It's not that usually at the start. My purpose is like, I just want to get away from this job because this job is sucking the life out of me or it's not taking me where I want to go or whatever it is. That's your purpose. So don't pressure yourself to have this giant grand purpose at the start. Okay, the vision, where we're going, the vision for me in those early days was literally just to move away from pain. It was to move away from this life that I didn't want to live of having a job and maybe being able to retire when I'm 65. Okay, that was the pain I was moving away from. So usually when we're starting, that vision isn't this massive vision. Sometimes it is. If you have the massive vision for this impact you want to make and this thing you want to do, amazing. I love it. More power to you. But most people don't have that vision. Most people, the vision is literally to just move away from the pain. Okay, and that's totally fine. Give yourself the ability to have that be the extent of your vision this next year. Okay, when you start to hit the next revenue levels, then you can expand that vision because now you have more resource to tackle it. Right, strategy, no matter what product you're doing, I don't care if it's real estate or selling toilets or whatever it is, your strategy, your business strategy now that you've got a clear vision for where you're going, your business strategy is this. I want you to pick one market, one product. One market, one product, okay? One market, one deal type if you're in real estate. It could be Louisville, Kentucky, I'm going to wholesale, okay? It could be Oregon, I'm going to buy rental properties. If you're doing a product, it could be the real estate investors and its websites or online marketing like our product. Okay, one product, one market to start. Don't get confused with multiple markets, multiple products. Now, one product, one market. Okay, next thing, guys, your marketing. How do we now market in that first 100,000? The first 100,000 is going to be a lot of what I call hamster wheel marketing. It's just, you're just digging in, you're doing the work, you're putting in the work. You're doing work that you have to do over and over again to make it a result. But you're going to learn so much by doing it. Okay, you're knocking on doors, you're sending direct mail, you're cold calling. You might be launching some Facebook ads to get that first 100,000. You're doing things that maybe don't scale if you do them only, but they're going to get you to first $100,000. Okay, you can start what I call evergreen marketing. We'll unpack evergreen marketing later, but you can start evergreen marketing at this time too. But your first 100K, guys, you're just going to hustle. You're going to go to work and get done so you can learn fast, get those reps in. Okay, leverage. How do you add leverage now? How do you add leverage to that and get to the $100,000 quicker? You get a coach. You get a coach. That coach could be informal. The coach could be a YouTube channel like this. It could be an actual paid coach if you've got the resources. Get a coach, focus on that one coach, and just laser focus on what they teach and just execute exactly what they teach. The one coach, the one market, the one product, execute it, wake up every single day, carve out the time on your schedule, put the work in, you'll get to the 100K as long as you don't quit. Okay. Now, what about buying back our energy and time? What do we do with that energy and time to give us energy? Well, in that first $100,000 mark, you don't really have the money usually to buy yourself back time by hiring employees, right? So what I'll do with some of my money in the early times to get my energy is I want to learn. Like, I'm buying courses in the early days. I'm just growing myself. And that's so fun in those early days. It is today too, is you're going to buy the courses, you're going to absorb the YouTube channels, you're going to absorb the podcast, you're going to just fill yourself up because that's going to build your confidence. That's going to build you into someone who's able to deal at the next level. Just invest into learning. You're going to get so much energy from that. Now, the last two parts of it, guys, on the energy and time side of the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula is process and delegation. Well, what are the processes you're going to put in place at this point? Let's say you're making $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month. You've got some revenue there. I'd encourage you to start to find things to delegate people to things to on Upwork or Odesk or something like that. Okay, so you're gonna record Loom videos. You're gonna be creating processes with Loom videos. Pull up Loom. It's a free app on your computer or on your cell phone. And everything that you're doing repeatedly that drains your energy, you're gonna document on a Loom video. You're gonna store somewhere. And then you're going to go give to somebody over on Upwork to have them do that work for you. It could be pulling lists in real estate. It could be, doing something else with making the product. It could be packaging your products if you have a physical product business. Okay, record a video, get it over here, train someone to do those things that drain your energy and don't drive the business forward. That's going to help you get through the $100,000 even quicker. And then the last part is delegation side of it. You're delegating those low-level repeated tasks that aren't really driving the business forward, but usually it might be on some of the delivery or some of the building up of the lists for marketing or something like that. Okay, guys, so I'm just going to recap this really quick. On level one, you're a dreamer at this phase, guys. It's probably just going to be you, maybe a VA. You should definitely have a mentor, even if it's unpaid, informal through YouTube videos like this. The pain line you need to move through, mindset. You should be focusing all on mindset in that first year. Focus on that visual, where you want to go, find examples of people who have done it, and just always focus on honing the mindset, visualizing, and just working on strengthening that mindset. Because you're going to have people pulling you down. You're going to have people telling you can't do it. You're going to have people pointing you in a direction that's safer. Your mindset needs to drive you forward. Okay, flip that risk profile. And then you're going to be moving through replacing your W-2 income as that purpose. Your vision is moving away from pain. Your strategies, pick one market, one product or deal type. Your marketing is you're just gonna be working your butt off with hamster wheel marketing that first 100K, getting through that. Your leverage is get a darn coach, even if it's just a $50, $100 coach, a course that you're learning from, or informal. Energy. Dive into learning in a big way. You're going to get so much energy and grow in a massive way in this first year or two. Process, document everything you do on Loom videos, okay, that is repeated that you want to hand off. Then find your first person to hand off those tasks to. Once you're making a few grand a month, delegate that first repeated task to, so you can spend more time doing the things that give you energy and drive that business forward. So, whew, that was a lot. That was a lot, y'all. So hopefully that was valuable. Pop in the comments box if you are in level one. If you're in that dreamer phase, $0 to $100,000, trying to make your first $100,000, what resonated with you the most? Okay, where's your biggest challenge, or where's your biggest struggle in the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula levels? If you want the levels, we probably flashed them up here in the video somewhere, but there's going to be a link down below in the comments box or the description on YouTube. There's going to be a link down here that links up my levels. So everything I just cited out, I've got an entire matrix that walks you through from 0 to 10 million plus in everything you need to do across the Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. Go download it. That's going to be your map, or your kind of like your Bible on your growth path here with me through the entire Entrepreneur Freedom Formula. All right, guys, hit subscribe here on YouTube. Hit subscribe over on the podcast channel. If you're on the podcast channel, make your way over to YouTube and subscribe to my channel. I want to build this channel to be to get to 100,000 followers within the next 18 months. Can we do it? I think it's possible. I think it's totally possible. Let's make it happen, y'all, because I want to be able to light you guys up to be able to build a business of freedom and impact even more. I'm here for you. I want to have every single one of you make a comment below. I want to connect with you. Hit me with a DM on Instagram. We'll put up my Instagram handle here. Hit me with a DM, guys. I answer every single DM on Instagram myself. Would love to connect with you personally and find out how I can help you out. I've been through the same thing you're going through right now on this journey, and I want to be a part of your journey too. All right, subscribe. We'll see you next time.